Hello and welcome to the Skill Me Up Expert Talk. We're going to wait a few moments to see if anyone else is going to be attending. I'll rejoin in just a moment. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. So hello and welcome to the Expert Talk on how the team's mobile app will help. I'll be covering several different use cases and doing some demonstrations on why I think the Microsoft Teams app is the best app currently available. Normally when you want to have a meeting with your phone, you have to download an app for that. If you want to share files, you need another app. If you want to do messages within your organization, there's another app for that. All of these disparate apps create confusion when trying to remember where the source of truth resides. Because another option for this data could actually be the email client. So as organizations deal with COVID work from home mandates, there's an entire new generation that is used to messaging as their primary communication tool. It's time to understand that email is not the best collaboration tool for messaging and sharing files. I'm Brian Nielsen, and a senior cloud training architect from Agility. I've been a public speaker on SharePoint Saturdays and co-author of Microsoft Recipe. If you do need to contact me, this is my email address and my LinkedIn. So for this expert talk, we're going to go through an introduction and go through some first-line workers examples, and then I'm going to be doing a walkthrough demo and some useful feature demos. So we're going to be focused specifically on the Microsoft Teams mobile app. And for me, it's one of the most impressive suite of features that you'll find on any app on the market that I've ever come across. You can effectively communicate with an entire team. You can interact with multiple organizations, and I'll demonstrate that later. You can do online meetings. You can do audio and video calling. You can do group chat, and you can do web conferencing. Microsoft Teams allows you to stay on top of your business with Microsoft apps and third-party services. So once you actually get the app open, you're not limited to that. Any customization that you're adding to the actual Teams client, a lot of that will be transferred over directly. So if you've got bots, if you've got custom apps, custom tabs, a lot of that will be carried over directly into mobile. It's not 100% yet, but a tremendous amount of that can be carried over. Within Microsoft Teams, you can make clear audio and video calls by integrating your phone system. So the PBX system can actually be part of Microsoft Teams. It also allows you to communicate with an entire team or interact privately in chats and groups. So it isn't just a basic chat client. So you can actually chat with an individual, you can create chats with groups, you can create secure groups, and within each of those, share files, share emoticons, do all kinds of really impressive interactions that allow for a very impressive client. Because Microsoft Teams is built on Azure and Office 365, you have a complete end-to-end administrative control, security, and compliance. That's one of the main things that is an issue once you start jumping between different meeting tools, different chat applications. As soon as you start introducing all these disparate applications, the ability for your organization to provide security and compliance becomes a problem. So understanding that under your Microsoft license, you've got everything available inside Teams, everything inside Azure, and everything inside of Microsoft 365 or Office 365 that provides you with this security and compliance and also control. So if you need to actually make sure that you can actually go back and retain information of chats or files or things like that, it's all built in. Another nice thing is you can actually be notified of these conversations. So if you're actually away from your desk and you want to be notified when your name comes up in a particular conversation, you can set that so you'll be notified when your name is prompted. So you don't have to follow an entire conversation, only when you're prompted, which is very nice if you're working away from the office or stuck in a meeting or traveling. So let's take a look at some first-line worker scenarios, and this is for IKEA.
Most people know us as the yellow and blue, quirky Swedish home furnishing company. The meatballs, the flat packs, the do-it-yourself, etc. I would say we are a community that is enabling people to take initiatives to drive the company. We are guided by the vision to create a better everyday life for the many people. The opportunity to connect people, to unleash hundreds and thousands of people, it was simply not possible before. Digital opens up a totally new world for us to actually co-create.
We are 160,000 problem solvers in IKEA. I think it's really important for all the frontline workers to move forward. They all need the tools to do that. That is a thing that I like with teams.
I love the values that we help each other, we take care of our coworkers, we take care of our customers, and it's so alive and so hands-on every day. On a daily basis, I work with 150 coworkers that I have to communicate with. Before, we used different kind of text messaging programs. We using paper to fill in different kind of forms. They manually had to hand it in to their managers, but now they can do it in shifts. This is what coworkers today want, to have their schedule available to them all the time and have more control. The availability is perfect.
One day I just heard in the corridor that Nadja has done something really great and tried something new within Teams. When Nadja presented this for me, she did it in a cost-conscious way. And what we have calculated in this store is that we could save 364,000 Swedish crowns, which is equal to 40,000 US dollar. And you can imagine how much we can save if we have this on all IKEA stores in the world.
I definitely want to spread the word to other stores.
I think we have unleashed not only a better way of operating, but we have actually unleashed a decentralization of creating the future that we want to see. And that is thanks to Microsoft.
So the difference between IKEA and other stores is making Teams available for coworkers. The culture was already there, but it made it stronger. It feels like we are in the future now.
The first video covered first-line workers at IKEA. Let's take a look at the mattress firm first-line workers.
To better serve our customers in an omni-channel fashion, we need to have options for both the sales associate and the customer. They may want to buy in store, they may want to research in store and then buy later online. And so we just have to make things transparent and really allow the customer to drive the experience.
Our vision is to be America's most trusted authority on sleep. We do that every day by making it easy to find the right mattress through the right products and a seamless experience. Mattress Firm's the largest specialty mattress retailer. We have over 2,500 locations across the country, so it's really important that we have tools that allow us to quickly communicate to each other.
Some of the challenges we had before were having information and conversations in different places.
We looked at Microsoft 365 as an opportunity to unify everything under a cloud platform.
Having people that work all across the country, we need a really easy way to deliver one message to everyone at the same time. Having technology like Stream allows us to have a more authentic connection with all of our employees.
Communication has definitely changed, especially with streams being on board now. We now have the ability to go watch these videos, be interactive. We notice the team more engaged, more curious. It's helping my sales team hit the floor faster in about half of the time.
Mobile has been a game changer for how we communicate, but it's also really important for our field managers who are traveling all the time. They can now use something like Teams on the go with all their team members and know that it's secure.
If I want to go and do a walkthrough, I now have the power to do a video conference with them.
When our first-line employees or our retail sales associates are able to use Teams, it helps make them more efficient.
With Teams, you have it all in one spot. You can do files, conversation history, you can invite whoever you need to the groups, and it's been really big help just making sure information gets around to the team. One of the benefits with Teams now is that we can send information back to corporate. Having the ability to give insight to what's going on the floor helps us all win. Everyone's trying to find the best ways to make our guests happy and customers for life. Teams helps us actually sell more beds. It's just cool.
So that was a couple examples of first-line workers and how they can actually implement teams and utilize teams. The first one actually showed the Shifts application. So like I was saying before, you're not limited based off the actual Teams client. You can build custom applications and embed them as apps, embed them as custom tabs, and expose that information and share that information and really empower first-line workers and your employees. So let's go through a demo. And what I've got is actually a screen share with my Microsoft Teams client that's on my phone. So you can see if I switch between these on the bottom navigation. So the first place I want to start, and just from a getting to know your way around it, is the hamburger menu. So in the upper left-hand corner, you click on that, those 3 lines, it's called a hamburger menu. And you can see your name, and you can also check your availability. So if you've ever had to use Skype before, you know you can set your availability. You can do exactly the same thing here, whether set yourself to do not disturb so there's no notifications, or set yourself as busy. I'll just leave it as available. You can also set a status message. This is exactly the same as you could do in Skype. So if you need to say, hey, I'm busy, contact me via email or call me directly, you can set that status message so people can get an idea of what that is. And that will appear as they mouse over your name. You can disable notifications. So for me, since I'm doing a presentation right now, I'm having my notifications turned off. You can also delve directly into the settings. So one of the important things is you can set this as a dark theme. I'm going to not do this since I have to restart. But if you're looking at this at night, so it's better for your eyes if you want to set it to a dark theme. And since not all mobile devices have massive amounts of storage, you can also clear temporary files, app data, reset the database, or clear the history that's inside here. So it allows it to be a lot more flexible. And it's one of the things that I think people complain about it. Apps is like when you first start with them, they're really, really good, but then they just like start going downhill and the performance starts degrading. So you can clear the storage out and eliminate that problem. You can look at your profile, so check your email, check what work phone is defined with you. Within messaging, because it works like your regular phone, so if you want to use that suggested replies, so if you want to instantly respond with sure, okay, sounds good, it'll automatically prompt you to say, is this one of the ways that you would like to respond by inferring from the previous conversation? You can also get read receipts, so you can let people know when you've seen their messages and when they've seen yours. You can show the channels in the chat list also. And this was Shifts that was demonstrating before. I'm not going to go through Shifts. I probably need to do another complete presentation just on Shifts. But basically, Shifts is an application that allows first-line workers to actually view their shifts and also allow the full ability to chat with coworkers, share information, share files, and request for time off or share schedules, split schedules. Tremendous amount of power, and it's just another application that is available freely inside of Teams. So let's get out of there. Let's go to chat. So I've got another user that I'm logged in as. So this one, as you can see, is set up as test user. Now, what's unique about this application is if I highlight the first word, I can actually add emoticons to this. And rather than having a response back to people, I can just highlight it and say, hey, I love that. A thumbs up, I got it, I understand. Or if you're upset with that message, very easy to do. And if you want to remove it, just highlight and select that same one again. So this is the thumbs up. And if you want to undo it, just highlight it again. Another thing that you can do is you can copy that message. And again, a very, very powerful client. And if you want to actually show context of the conversation, responding back and forth, you can reply. And so this is context. So if there's a long conversation going and a lot of people interacting back and forth, Now you can see this is a direct reply to that message. Very impressive client, and very impressive tool for doing things like this. Go back to this. So you wanted to forward a message. So somebody sends something and you want to forward that directly to someone else. Another thing you can do, you can save a message. And something else that if you need to provide more context, a lot more dialogue with regards to a conversation, you can mark something as unread. And then once you get back to the actual client, you can see that it is set to unread. What this looks like over here, so you can see this one has been seen, and now this one does not have the small icon next to it that shows that it has been seen. So that's the difference of showing that it is unread. So let's take a look at Teams. So even though the tool is called Teams, within Teams, it has the ability to split up groups into teams. And behind the scenes, it's using Active Direct Microsoft security groups. And you can also apply different security to allow people access to these. You can see there's different names for these. So I've got demo, DevOps, general, channel demo. You see all teams. So what you wanted to have a human resources, professional, all these can be created, hidden, displayed, and have different security applied to them. People would not even know they exist if they didn't have rights to them. You can see in this channel demo one, I've got a locked one. So you can, inside of a team, you can apply these individual channels, and you can apply even more granular security to these channels. Once you go into these, the first 3 tabs across the top, the navigation starts as post. So this is purely a chat application that allows you to interact with all the people that have access to this. So if I'm going to respond in my actual client with a different user. So you can see this is a test. And I can reply, I got it. If you notice, one of the things that came up is I accidentally clicked the icon. And I will demonstrate that in just a second. But one of the responses that you can do, one is an image. So if you wanted to respond with an image, you can instantly do that. You can also reply with a GIF, and that's one of the things that becomes more and more kind of expected nowadays. So as the Halloween season approaches, you can apply different things, dancing, just lots of, and so, and you can also search for different things. So if you just want to be silly, and just say send. So do you understand the conversation? You can also add attachments. And also add in references to users. So if you wanted to actually respond to myself, just gonna throw in issues. So there's my test user. So you can actually provide a reference to that user, so they'll get a notification that this is part of the conversation they should be paying attention to. You can also add in some more detailed text or descriptions. And if you wanted to make a particular section bold, you can do that, highlight it, and it just provides a lot more power than just a basic simple text application like you would get over your phone. Another useful thing is when you're replying back and forth is you can set a priority to it. You can also provide your location. So really, really powerful. And these were the extra applications that I was describing. So I've actually got one for Azure DevOps. So if you think of one of the things that you would have to do for inside of DevOps is you have to log into DevOps if you wanted to share a link. Only you'd have to actually get into DevOps. That's hard to do on your phone. This application allows you to search the context within there. I'm not going to go ahead and set this up, but it allows you a lot more functionality. You can get direct news inside here and actually share that information directly in. That gives you a preview of that. These are all, you can build custom applications, you can download applications. This one is Poly and basically allows you to, once you sign in, Poly allows you to do polls. So there's a free version, there's a paid version, there's all kinds of different versions available. But basically, if you wanted to share a poll across the organization, it's something that is very, very easy to do. So you can do it directly in a channel, do it across multiple channels, and get all the responses that you need to. Just to show you some of the other applications you can get in here. So if you wanted to look at stocks, and again, you can share this information directly in here. This is all using what are called cards. So this layout allows you to get more details within here or open it in the application. You can go to news on that, and the buttons are different than hyperlink, but these are using cards inside here to provide more functionality. Another useful function in the bottom right-hand corner, if you hold it down, it'll record what you're saying, and then we'll get that message to the other person as a audio recording. So you can send that. So if there is actually something that's difficult to type and you want to get your context across and hopefully not lose the context in typing a message, which sometimes happens, you can record a message instantly. Again, super powerful application that allows you to do a lot of features. So, go back over to files. So files is unique because this is actually SharePoint. On the back end of files, I'm going to upload something on the other application and show you that it actually syncs. So just going to upload a quick file, and as soon as it's uploaded, everything in this is drag and drop. While I'm waiting for that one to display. This is where I was talking about adding in more applications. So this is a custom application that I've written. I don't even know if this one's still hosted anymore. Yeah, this one's broken. But you can build custom applications that will appear as custom tabs. The three that exist out of the box are going to be post, files, and more. And it's going to be wiki is the third one. Obviously, I need to update my client so I can get to wiki on this one. And there's that file that I uploaded. So you can open this, you can download it, you can share this file, and you do have that traceability that is actually difficult to do in other applications. So I can actually restrict who has access to this as I share this file around. And with it inside this application, I've got a tremendous amount of power, because one of the things that is very unique about the Teams client. So if you look at the browser, I can open this inside SharePoint. So this is demo, which is the name of this group. And inside the general, so we're at general here. So you can see demo, then general. So we've got a documents, and then we've got a general folder inside there, and then there's the file that I uploaded. So everything stays completely in sync. And because this is SharePoint in the back end, you've got everything that comes with SharePoint. So you've got all versions, you can see who modified it, got full traceability to everything that's going on. And that's one of the unique things of the Microsoft Teams application. And one of the things that they kind of tout about it is from their perspective, they didn't build anything new. They exposed a lot of the functionality that existed inside of Office 365, which includes SharePoint, which includes chat, which includes groups, which includes a lot of things that were just hidden in the background, but tremendously powerful. Let's go to calendar. So you can join scheduled meetings, you can create scheduled meetings, you can create live meetings, you can join online meetings, you can do video chats, you can share presentations directly from your phone. Really, really impressive. I can set this to a channel meeting, so only people in a specific channel have access to this. So if we select this one, now, rather than having to, especially in a mobile application, trying to remember every single person that was part of a particular organization, you can choose a particular channel. So I'm going to just show that. So if I want to choose another one, so let's go for human resources. Trying to remember every single individual that's part of HR would be really difficult to set up a meeting, especially on a mobile application. You can still add participants on this by individually typing their name, but the ability to directly add a channel in here so that you know everybody that has access to that channel, that team's channel, will automatically have access to this meeting. Really, really powerful application. This is also showing you're not limited. So the number of apps that appear out of the box is, I'll say, very minimal. These are a handful of custom ones that I've built that are displayed inside here. So you can swipe and see even more. So this is very similar to a normal telephone where you've got apps that you can add. Another thing you can do is you can move these around. So if the priorities of what you want access to, you can drag these up and down and move them around. So I'm going to move files all the way up to the top. Let's save this. And now we can see down at the bottom, we've got activity, files, chat, teams, calendar. If that's too much for you, you can remove things so that it's not an overwhelming interface. So now we're down to 4 main icons in the navigation and can still get access to calendars, calls, camera, organization, things like that. Really, really powerful as far as what's available inside the application. One of the things that you can do, which is also very different compared to other applications, if you notice down here under accounts and orgs, you can swap between multiple organizations very, very quickly. So if you wanted to do that in other tools, it's actually extremely difficult and cumbersome to do. So really powerful with regards to being able to swap between multiple organizations very quickly. And your authentication is going to carry over. So you can see I've got one for Microsoft and one for my actual organization. Plus I've got the development one that I'm using, which is Cowboy Dev. I want to show you something else on the notifications. So let's say you are mentioned inside of a chat. So I'm going to go into regular chats and I'm going to send something directly to this test user. So I did send a response directly to this user. You see that I was notified of it. Not sure why my activity is, I think because I've got all my notifications turned off, why I'm not displaying them. On the files, you can see access to your OneDrive. And that's one of the things that to understand when you're actually sharing files back and forth. So you're inside of a chat and you're going one-on-one with somebody. And I mentioned that you had full security around that and it was SharePoint. Well, for the individual chat messages, everything is actually revolving around OneDrive. So if you upload a file and it's for all these individual, each one of these has a specific security that is added to the person that you're having the chat. And if you upload the same document to a different person in the chat, it'll say, hey, do you want to upload this again, or you just want to keep the same one and added extended permission to it? Really, really nice as far as being able to deal with a tremendous amount of data and keeping security in place. I wanted to grab a business card because I wanted to show you a really cool concept with regards to taking a picture. So I'm going to take a photo. So this is the photo I'm going to take, and you can see on the bottom it has video, photo, document, whiteboard, or business card. I'm going to swap all the way to business card. And you can see it has this bounding box on it now. So if I go ahead and take this picture with the bounding box, it's going to automatically square it up and clean it up. So now I can share that directly in. Again, one of those really impressive applications that you don't have to think about anymore. And if you want to do a whiteboard, it does the same thing. So if you're taking a picture of a whiteboard and it's a little bit askew, it will actually square that up for you and make it really clear. So let's go. Just wanted to quickly summarize what we've been going through. So I went through some of the first line workers examples and explained how shifts are actually used and did a quick walkthrough and showed you some of the useful features. One of the things that I do want to explain is there actually is a home version of Office 365. It was about $6.99 for a half dozen users. And what that allows you to do is if you're doing all your calendar, all your scheduling, all your tasks inside of Teams for your work, you can actually continue to do that for your home. And what that allows you to do is, rather than having to switch between email clients or tools or to-do apps or Wunderlist, all these different applications for sharing information for home, now you can do it all within Teams. So now you've got sharing home information between kids, family, or trying to set up an event. You can do that. And like I was showing before, you can switch between, I'm going to switch between my work and switch between my home. And it's very quick to switch between those different ones. And then you've got one unified client where everybody has access to, and it's exactly the same every single time. You don't have to learn a new tool. And that's about it. So I'm going to let it go. And this was a quick demonstration of how the Teams mobile app will help. And I want to thank you for attending our expert talk on how the Teams mobile app will help.